Hi guys, and welcome back to Crypto Chester. I'm here today to give you a Bitcoin update. We're going to be going through Bitcoin here on the long term, the mid term, and the short term, and also going through some really interesting on-chain stuff as well. The most important part of this video, guys, is going to be the targets that we're going to be looking at for potential bounce points, whether this whether the ETFs are going to get passed or whether they're going to get declined. Okay, so we're going to be looking at key target levels for the next few weeks or so, and also key target levels if we do see us dump off a cliff and the FOMO is actually shot with the arrow and the ETFs don't get passed. So we're going to put key levels of support there. So let's start off with the on-chain stuff for Bitcoin right now, because this is very interesting. Let's talk about the funding rates, guys. You can see the funding rates for the last couple of months or so have actually been to the upside. Okay, they've been very strong. So that basically means here that if you were long, you would be paying the short holders to hold their short position, okay? So at this point in time, you're actually losing money holding your long positions because there was more people long on Bitcoin than there wasn't short on Bitcoin. Now, why is this interesting at this point? Because we've just flipped the opposite way. So this essentially means, guys, now the short holders are actually paying the people who are long, which is very interesting, right? It's very interesting. And the reason why I'm saying this today, guys, is because if you look at crypto Twitter right now, if you look at X, it's just absolutely flooded with all the influencers basically saying that the ETF's going to pass and it's insanely bullish. We're going to the goddamn moon. Bitcoin's going to explode. Personally, for me, I don't think the ETF is going to pass on January the 10th. I think we're going to get delayed, and I think the example of Matrixport releasing the article last week and dumping Bitcoin and the effect that actually had on the chart, dumping us probably 20% from just one article, the whole market completely crashed. Why wouldn't the SEC delay it, dump the market, and give all these massive hedge funds the opportunity to buy it at a lower price? If they can see a reduction in the price from one article, from one exchange, just dumping it 20%, why the hell wouldn't they dump it even more with multiple different things coming out, right? So this is why I'm very interested right now in the funding rates, because we've actually just flipped the opposite way compared to the last few months, which in reality, with everyone that's saying that these ETFs are going to get passed in the next sort of couple of days or so, you would expect this to be right up at these levels, right? You would expect everyone to really be long. So it basically just shows that the sentiment in the market has just slightly switched, and there's a lot of people basically now saying, oh, maybe we are a little bit overexposed here. Maybe we shouldn't be longing the hell out of this market with the chances of the FOMO actually coming through and us not actually passing these ETFs on January the 10th, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about the funding rates. Let's get into the charts, and then let's look at some key support and targets, support and resistance areas basically we can be looking at for Bitcoin, okay? So I'm going to be starting off on the short-term time frame for the day, guys. What are we going to be looking at here for the next sort of day, week or so for Bitcoin? So here on the 1 hour time frame, you can see we've obviously got this very strong trend line from the high of this current run. Okay, the high from this current run is currently set around 45,000, even 46,000, 40,900. So you can see we do have a very strong level of resistance in terms of a trend line coming down from that area. Okay, the reason why I'm mentioning that, guys, is because you can see the momentum of this resistance was very strong. This is where the Matrix article actually came out. The Matrixport article actually came out and crashed the market horrendously. Yes, we have recovered from then and have had pullbacks, but you can see the momentum from this trend line has slowed down. Okay, it's gradually slowed down from the points that I was just saying, and then we've actually broken it to the upside. Now, the support that we're seeing here, guys, is where it gets interesting, okay? This is where it gets interesting, because if we're talking momentum for a second, that trend line there, the test of support, you can see bit of momentum coming up there, not too much, and then the test of support again, a lot more momentum in a shorter amount of time. That 1 hour God candle there, really strong stuff. 1 hour hammer candle, sorry. And you can see the momentum is getting stronger from this area, guys. So the more that we're testing this, the bigger the bounces are getting, okay? So it's a bullish sign, okay? It's a bullish sign just referencing this trend line. Now, in terms of moving averages here on the hourly, guys, we're pretty coiled up, okay? We're pretty coiled up. It's not a very smooth uptrend. It's not a smooth operator scenario. You can see when we're not coiled up and these MAs are really far apart, we've got a lovely uptrend. It's looking really strong. We're breaking highs here. We're setting higher lows coming through. Really strong stuff for a nice micro uptrend. But in terms of moving averages right now, unfortunately, what are we seeing? We're seeing very coiled up moving averages, guys. When the moving averages are very coiled up, usually that tends to mean we're due a massive breakout in the price. And with the ETFs potentially being launched this week, accepted or denied, we're likely to see a big breakout in the price. An example for coiled up moving averages and a breakout in the price is exactly what it says here, guys. Let me get rid of the TA for a second, and maybe the volume weighted ATR bands for a second as well, so it's more easy for you guys to see. And you can see here, coiled up moving averages, really, really strong there, and then a massive break to the upside. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at right now. If you look at the coiled up moving averages, probably could coil up a little bit more, but it's basically saying that we could either break to the upside or break to the downside quite violently. And we will get to some very key targets for this week very, very shortly, guys. In terms of trading Bitcoin right now from a scalping perspective, I mean, it's pretty risky, okay? It's pretty risky just due to, obviously, the ETF FOMO scenarios coming through. It could go either way right now. I probably would say it's probably short-term bullish just because a lot of people are still going to be FOMOing in. There's a lot of news, there's a lot of YouTube videos going around saying ETFs are going to pass, everyone's screaming that it's going to go to the moon and all this stuff. So it's probably going to see a bit of bullish momentum coming through. But I don't think they're going to get past, in my opinion. I just don't. So we are going to see basically a potential crash for the market. Hey, I could be wrong, but that's what I do think. In terms of trading it, again, guys, we do have this parallel channel. Let me get rid of this trend line for a second. We do have this parallel channel coming through. You can see the top side of this channel. Lovely, lovely levels of resistance coming through here. And you can see the support on the lower side of this channel as well. This creates a parallel channel. Parallel channels, guys, in a consolidation period here, you can see that we usually break to the upside or the downside. Okay, so what you could potentially be looking for here is measure moves either way, short or long position from a scalping perspective, and in terms of percentages, to be worth around 2.5% there, and to the downside probably the same, around 2.5% there. Okay, because obviously it's a parallel channel. Now, in terms of take profits all the way up, guys, you're going to be staggering them continuously. I would say first take profit 44.8. Not going to go into too much detail on this scalp, but before we go into the longer term time frame and get those really strong ETF targets, guys, I just want to say I'm going to be doing a copy trading challenge on Fairdesk. Make sure you go and sign up to their exchange, guys, and basically if I'm making money, you're going to be making money too. You literally just press copy, you press copy my trades, and with whatever amount of money you want. And if I make a trade and I make money, so do you. Really, really good stuff. So you can see here, I'm going to be doing a challenge, $5,000 to $100,000 throughout 2024. So make sure you drop a sign up in the link is in the description if you want to get involved with that. I'm going to be starting that over the next sort of week or so. Okay, I've just been learning the platform, getting to grips with it. Obviously, I made a little bit of profit testing, but it's nothing compared to what we're going to be doing. Okay, so yeah, if you want to join that, link is in the description. And also, guys, I partnered up with BitUnex as well. You can see them in the bottom right hand side of this corner here. Amazing exchange as well. Really, really nice UI. Make sure you go check them out. Link is in the description. They've got a massive bonus on as well at the moment, just if you sign up and deposit. And I think if you sign up, you can get like 20 or 50 bucks free just for signing up. So yeah, make sure you go and do that if you're looking for a little bit of capital to just trade Bitcoin and all the other altcoins that they offer. Really, really good stuff. Let's move on to the midterm time frame before we get to the ETF targets, guys. So the midterm time frame that we're looking for here on Bitcoin is gonna be the targets that we're looking for on the midterm. I probably would say short-term bullish momentum, as we were just discussing. The market is still bullish until we do see the ETFs potentially get declined. If they do get declined, guys, they will be declined on the 10th. Okay, they could be passed now. They could be passed any hour or so. They could be passed tomorrow. But if they're going to get declined, they will get declined on the 10th. And that basically means we've got 2 days or so to have some price action. The price action that I would expect over the next 2 days is probably going to be bullish. Okay, because there's still a lot more FOMO coming into the market from this potential news. Okay, so the targets that I would really sort of be looking for here is probably the volume weighted ATR band on the 12-hour to the upside, and that would be testing this high that we currently have set in this sort of trend. Okay, it's gonna be around 44,800. That would be the target to the upside I would be looking for here. You can see we have had support in this area multiple times. Again, parallel channel, guys. The target to the upside is 44.8, and you can see that's going to be the first take profit for this move. Okay, so very, very achievable, very, very easy. If you're longing it from this point, it's probably going to be around 2.5%. Probably wouldn't long it from this point. I would wait for that little micro breakout. But yeah, that would be the short-term target. Much higher than that, maybe we tap the high. Okay, maybe we tap the high. It's absolutely possible if we do. But please be aware, guys, 12-hour volume weighted ATR band, 30-minute volume weighted ATR band, 60-minute volume weighted ATR band, and the 4-hour. Okay, when these guys are coiled up together, the chances of us actually getting over them and running up, it's pretty unlikely. Okay, it's pretty unlikely. It's a lot more likely when they're further apart. Let's see if I can get you an example, guys. When they're further apart. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a God mode candle to get over them if they're consolidation. But yeah, when they're further apart, guys, it does get harder to get over them. But when they're consolidated like this, it makes it really, really tricky to get that momentum to actually break over the top here, okay? So what I'm saying is we would need a serious amount of momentum to break up above $46,000 there. We'd need a really, really, really huge amount of volume here for Bitcoin, which I don't expect with the whole speculation. And obviously, the funding rates are flipping the other way. So the sentiment is changing, okay? So I wouldn't really expect that price target to be coming up. And if we do hit that price target around 46,000 at the top side of this upward sloping parallel channel, guys, which you can see here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, support, 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 parallel channel being formed. Parallel channels tend to usually break to the downside, guys, so we're going to be looking for a potential short position in the future for that. The short is going to consist of a nice big percentage here. And if we do see the ETFs, if we do see the ETFs get declined or delayed, then we're going to be looking for a big move around 8.9%, which we are going to go into very, very shortly, guys, okay? But that's just the chart pattern that we can see at this point in time. And you can see volume weighted ATR bands really, really far apart. We can be using them as potential take profits. But yeah, in terms of a high the absolute most that we could probably expect here is around 46.5 in the next few days or so if we do see a rally. But I would expect to come down before then. Don't get trapped out, guys. So yeah, the key areas to be looking out for there are 44.8, 44.2, 45.2, 45.7, and also 46.5. Okay, so those are going to be the points that I'm going to be looking out for over the next sort of day or so. And hey, if we dump, absolutely fine. The support level, we've got 30-minute coming through from here. And also you can see we've got multiple levels of support on this area continuously. Just there, continuously. So I would expect a minor bounce in the next 2 days or so, depending on the ETF news, right? If the ETFs are passed in the next day or the next couple of hours or so, obviously we will see a nice bit of bullish momentum coming through. And that does bring me on to the longer term time frame, the macro time frame, guys, for the ETF targets, which we could potentially be looking for, okay? So let's go into that, and this is where it gets very, very interesting. So let's look at market structure right now. So the market structure that we're looking at for Bitcoin, obviously you can see higher highs are continuously being set. It's very, very, very bullish, okay? The higher low that we have potentially confirmed now is, I mean, it's not the most valid one in the world here, but the high low that we have potentially confirmed, it is currently sat at 40,200. This is very, very interesting to me. The reason why is because you can see volume weighted ATR band on the daily coming up very, very, very strong here. The 3-day and the 4-hour, okay? And also we've got the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement down in this area, okay? So if the ETFs are going to get declined here, if they're going to get declined this week, we can expect a potential, or it probably might even be a little bit more than this, guys, of around 11% to the downside, okay? Remember, if they get declined, it doesn't mean they're not going to get passed. There's other deadline dates for us to hit in the future, so don't go crazy, okay? Don't go crazy. If we do see a massive dump here, guys, we will get bought back up, okay? We will get bought back up, and this is what I kind of think for the ETFs. I do think with due dumps, if they can dump the price with one matrix article, like I said at the start of this video, they're gonna dump the price to buy it lower. It's as simple as that. If they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, they're going to want lower prices. It's as simple as that. And if they can, it's just a fine example of creating lower prices with one article. They can get one article. So if they were going to pay someone to produce an article or produce a tweet, someone of high influence that is going to actually affect the market, or just, you know, it's corruption, right? So that's very, very, very possible for that to happen, and we've just proved over the last couple of weeks or so that is very, very easy. So I would expect a big dump to the downside to come through, and that is why I'm looking for a very, very big juicy short over the next couple of days or so. Okay, I'm looking to short the hell out of this market, and I will be taking a lot of profit, guys, at these volume weighted ATR bands. And hey, if we run lower, amazing stuff. We've got the 12-hour volume weighted ATR band coming up as well, and also the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. If it is going to fall to the absolute floor, and we are looking at higher lows in terms of market structure to be referencing for the future, and it's really, really bad news, and they say we're not having the ETFs ever, or something like that, right? It's very, very unlikely that is going to happen. Key levels to be looking out for there are previous highs and 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. In terms of the areas for support, in terms of a price for that, guys, 32.5 and yeah, around $30,000, 32, $32,000 are the very, very key areas to be looking out for. They're dumping down like that. And guys, I don't expect us to stay down at these levels for too long, okay? I'm going to get to the weekly, actually. I don't expect us to stay down at those levels for too long. I would expect us to be bought straight the hell back up, and it's just going to be people trying to get lower prices. This is just so polluted, this chart. To apologize. Let's get a bit more visually appealing. So yeah, I do expect these prices to actually get bought up very, very, very fast, okay? So maybe we see a massive dump down to 31,000, and then the price gets bought right back up to these levels again, and then we're going to be sat around these levels or around $50,000 for the next deadline coming through, okay? We know we got the halving, guys, coming through. We know we've got a lot of stuff, so we know this year is going to be insanely bullish, but targets for the next week, unfavorable opinion, I know. I would say we could potentially be looking at either $30,000, $32,000, or if we get bought up before then, we're looking at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement at around $38,000, and also the volume weighted ATR bands, guys, on the daily, the 3-day, and the 4-hour. These are currently sat in this green box zone. If it's going to be green, yep, very good stuff. The green box zone that we're looking at is around 39,000 and 40,000. So I will be taking a big, big short position depending on the fundamental news of Bitcoin and these ETFs. And that is basically going to be coming all the way down to this area here. It's going to be around a 7.35%. I was really, really convinced for a massive, massive long position off this area, but that is going to be, spare of the moment thing, depending on what is going to be happening with the charts, okay? Depending on what's going to be happening with the charts and how the volume is going to be dying off and how basically everything is going to be reacting to the news of the ETF, okay? So that's what I'm going to be judging on. Going to have to be very, very cautious here, getting into a long if we are going to be looking for this. But it's just going to see how it stabilizes, how the support is formed on this area, because we're likely to probably see a bounce, a little bit of a buy up, and then we retest. If we retest and the support isn't formed and it's not strong, and we lose the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, which you can see is currently priced at around $38,000. If we lose that area, guys, then I would be looking for another short position down to the 12 to the 35, and then I'll probably just let that go with staggered take profits as we go down. That's on the basis that we don't get the ETF passed, okay? I know a lot of people, I know there's so many people out there that are looking, spacey, saying, the ETFs are passing, we're going to the goddamn moon, let's go, what are the targets? So let's look at targets to the upside, okay? First of all, guys, the 0.78 Fibonacci is currently priced around $50,000. If we do see a pass of the ETF, I think we will soar straight past $50,000 and we will see highs getting broken. Absolutely crazy. You can see really, really strong areas. Obviously, the all-time high is currently sat at around 69,000 for Bitcoin. Lovely stuff there. And very, very strong other areas for resistance, which we have seen in previous bull markets here, guys. You can see very, very strong area around 58,000. Really, really strong resistance from these points, okay? So just for a speculative guess, I guess, speculative guess on how high we're going to be going here or what areas we could be looking at for a price prediction for this. It's not just going to go all the way to $100,000, guys. It's not going to do that. If you look at the gold ETF, when that actually launched, it kind of flatlined for a bit. Yes, we will see FOMO. Yes, we will see that coming through. So we're probably going to explode up, probably test the 0.786, explode up a bit more, hit 58, hit 64, and then probably see heavy resistance coming through from that area, okay? We're not just going to straight up go to 100K. It won't happen like that, guys. We need market structure for this to be valid. The quicker and faster that we go up, the quicker and faster that we fall down, okay? Many, many things coming into play here. A lot of people that are investors, and say BlackRock, for example, they don't invest in assets that are this volatile. So a lot of their investors are not used to how volatile these assets can be. So there's many things coming into play here, whether people are going to be wanting to be getting into this for a long term. Because if you look at Bitcoin over the last, 10 years or so, the pullbacks that we've had, it's ridiculous. You're going to look at 80% retracement, okay? These people are used to trading stocks and stuff like that pull back maybe 5-10% over the course of a year. Not 80% in a month. Well, not quite a month, but like 6 months, right? So they're not used to these volatile markets. That is going to play a massive course. Yes, if it passes, we're going to see a massive buy up. That's absolutely it's a given. It's going to happen. But what I'm saying is it's not going to happen right away. And if you're looking from an investor perspective, guys, what I would say is it comes up, it comes straight back down. They release more bearish news. It comes straight back down again. They're going to be buying up every single low zone that they can. They're going to be buying every single dip and just basically starting to accumulate, guys. And also, if you think about hedge funds and you think about all these major hedge funds, it's going to come to a point where do they have the current resources and the current teams available to start trading Bitcoin? Do they have it all set up already? Or are they going to be waiting for the ETF to pass, and then they're going to be like, okay, now we should build a team, now we should build a certain trading floor for this. So there's many things that come into play in the time respected to how long it's going to take for this to really happen. And that's what happened with gold, guys. The gold ETF, people weren't really prepared for it, and because they thought it was going to pass, but it's still flatlined because it takes a long time to get these things into motion and to build the structure and the strategy around it, guys, because it is and again, it's the most volatile asset out there. So yeah, there's many different things in play here. So those would be the key support areas and resistance levels to be looking out for there. If you made it this long in the video, guys, and that's a pretty chunky one, around 20 minutes. So I've been rambling on about this for a while, but I haven't given you a nice Bitcoin update and my opinions in probably like a week or so. So yeah, if you made it this far in the video, guys, I want to give you a week on the volume weighted ATR bands, and that is just going to be so you can take full advantage of these massive moves to the downside, okay? Because these areas are very strong for support. And just to show you guys quickly for the daily, let's bring up the daily and the 3-day, and I'll just show you how valuable these actually can be, guys. They're just ridiculous how crazy the support and resistance that you can actually get from these. If it's going to work, I just want to get rid of these for a second so it's a lot more clear. And yeah, if you made it this long in the video, guys, let me know in the comment section, and I'll give you basically a week on these volume weighted ATR bands for absolutely free, and you can basically take full advantage of the next sort of week or so using this indicator. Okay, so let's go back in history just for a second, and we've got the 12-hour, the 3-day, and the daily, the 3-day. Yeah, the daily and the 3-day. We're going to use those for a reference here. Obviously, they're very important. And you can see the support that we get on these bad boys. Very strong stuff. So we dump down very aggressively. We bounce. It's almost like it's almost like written in stone, the bounces that we get off this, okay? So you can see very strong support, and again, very strong resistance here. We grind along it sometimes. When we break it, guys, the first test that we get to the downside is usually very strong in terms of momentum, okay? And it doesn't look that strong, but it's on the daily, guys. You can see it's 10%. They're 10% moves here. So that's why I'm going to give you a week on this for free, and you can basically capitalize on the volatility that we're about to see in the markets, okay? Massive bounces from these areas, okay? Yes, it's a macro play, and we haven't actually seen our first volume weighted ATR band daily bounce as of yet, guys, okay? So you can see we have cleared this with momentum to the upside, but we haven't seen the first bounce point. Come on, man. We haven't seen the first bounce point on the daily volume weighted ATR band, which is currently up around 40,800. So it's going to be very interesting to see the bounce point that we get off this. It's probably going to be worth minimum 5 to 10%, guys. So just make sure, obviously, it's not financial advice. I'm not telling you to just blindly long this. As I said earlier in the video, I'm going to be looking at the ETF and the fundamentals behind this, because we could lose this volume weighted ATR band, but there is other ones. There's 12-hour. There's many different ways that you could be making money using this indicator. So yeah, if you made it this long in the video, make sure you drop a comment. Tell me that you did. Why don't you say in the comment like I made it to 23 minutes or something like that. Just put I made it to 23 minutes, and I'll give you a week on the WOD machine. Not on the WOD machine, the volume weighted ATR band. And yeah, that'd be great stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And again, guys, fair desk, copy trading. Go copy me, copy my trades. I'm gonna be doing a 5K to 100K challenge over the next year or so. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. Trade safe out there. But for now, it's gonna be peace out and goodbye from me, Crypto Chester.